Now, passing in review. And the President's going to go returning from the deployment. The award-winning Palm Beach High School Mariachi Drama Loma is considered to be one of the best student mariachi in the state of Texas. The group won the Texas Mariachi Championship in 2011. How comfortable can you get? Beautiful. 57 singers and dancers. On August 6, 2012, NASA's Mars Curiosity rover achieved the most difficult landing ever attempted on another planet. The rover will help lay the groundwork for NASA's goal of sending humans to the red planet in the 2030s. The President described the rover's landing as an unprecedented feat of technology that would stand as a boon to national pride far into the future. Engaging two to the doomsday. NASA's all-around vehicle was a one-day area that will be space and to new destinations such as the Astro and Mars. The first forward vehicle will land in space in 2015 on the Pacific. And after that, they look like we are now passing in review. Passing in review for President Obama and Vice President Biden.
As we continue to watch the parade, let's head out one last time to National Mall for our intrepid Dan Kleffler. We've been braving the elements all day long. Hi again, Dan.
Hey, good evening to you, Dan. Of course, you know the parade is going on right now, and then the First Family has all the excitement and the fun of the balls tonight to look forward to. And one of the very special treats of the ball is the cake that will be at the Commander-in-Chief's ball. And one bakery, a very special bakery, perhaps you've heard of them, called Charm City Cakes in Baltimore, Maryland. And they have that huge hit reality show called Ace of Cakes. They're used to doing all kinds of crazy orders, these gravity-defying confectionery concoctions. But even they had to admit that when they got a call to help cater one of the hottest tickets in D.C., they had a little panic.
So you get the call from the White House that all of a sudden they've got a big party that's going to happen. They might need a cake.
Yeah. I mean, we've had...
And fear sets in.
We've had moments, we've definitely had moments where I answered the phone and hung up the receiver and said, oh my gosh, but nothing compares.
I mean, you guys do a ton of high-profile work, but would you say this is probably... without question, right?
Without question, this is the biggest honor we've ever been. I mean, it's almost indescribable, and we are just I mean, over the moon is an understatement.
So walk me through the process. How do you even get started putting together an inaugural cake?
The primary point of direction in terms of what the design was that this is for the Commander-in-Chief Ball. So the point of this whole event is to honor the military, and that gave us a great sort of jumping off point. We've got the 5 branches covered in terms of each one of the official seals, and the main challenge was finding the right balance of respect and, you know, sincerity, and this is a very, you know, honorable occasion, but it's also a party, and so we kind of just wanted a good balance of this is a celebration, but this is also a huge deal, and, you know, it is a very respectful occasion in terms of thanking the military, and I think we're going to strike just the right balance.
So give me some of the details on how big is this thing going to be?
It's altogether 9 tiers, so once it's on the table, I think it's going to stand at least 3 to 4 feet tall.
Wow.
And it's got, you know, a whole bunch of different elements. There's a lot of glitter and sparkle involved.
And how much does this thing weigh? A 3-foot tall cake?
It's hard to tell without it being done because we don't know, but easily 40 to 50 pounds.
Wow.
It's not the kind of thing you bring into the room assembled at all. Yeah. No. I'm very grateful I'm not delivering this cake.
So tell me a little bit about the cake itself. What flavors?
We've got several flavors: red velvet, lemon poppy seed, pumpkin chocolate chip, and in a little nod to the president being from Hawaii, we have pineapple coconut. So the flavors are all interspersed, so everyone, whatever flavor the president and the family, first family want, they can get a little bit of it.
Do you have a backup cake just in case?
Well, our delivery folks are very skilled. They have kits. It looks almost like a medic kit. So if anything goes wrong, they have everything in there that they would need to fix. But we're banking that this cake's going to make it down to DCA okay.
And I am told, in fact, that it did make it down. It has been assembled, and of course, it is now waiting for the first family, for the military families that will all be enjoying at the Commander-in-Chief's Ball tonight. One of the 2 balls that will be held tonight, of course, after the parade wraps up. The festivities just continue on from there. And I have to say, guys, the cake, it's beautiful. I mean, I had to be sworn to secrecy to look at the design of it, but it was quite a sight for the eyes that I'm sure everyone will be talking about and enjoying throughout the night.
So let me get this straight. In terms of inauguration coverage, we asked you to drink wine
Right.
and eat cake.
Yep.
And
what are you saying, Dan?
And I'm not saying anything.
You're saying I wasn't working hard down here in D.C.? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you got the best
No,
design
you're absolutely
possible.
right. You're absolutely right. And perhaps I might hit a few of the balls tonight as well, Dan. So you'll have to turn in for our live stream show tomorrow at 10 a.m. to see how red my eyes are, and that might give some kind of indication about how many of the balls I do hit tonight.
I am going to be following the live stream, going to be following your Twitter account. I need to know how Dan Kleffler's evening unfolds. You've been great all day, by the way, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys very much. I'll send it back up to you.
Okay, and we're looking again at the president saluting as he watches the parade, and night falls, and the daughters appear to have left the reviewing stand. The president's still there clapping along with Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden. And Rena, are you still with us?
I am still with you guys. You know, it looked like the first family was leaving, but the girls put on their coats. Mrs. Obama put on hers as well, and they took off. Remember, they've got these balls. The girls will not be attending the balls tonight, but the First Lady and the President, of course, will be attending 2 inaugural balls. All the buzz is on just exactly who Mrs. Obama will be wearing tonight. We are advised by the First Lady's office that it will only be revealed when she comes out in public, and they're going to tell everybody at the same time. So the fashion industry will be staying up late tonight to see exactly how that dress looks and who the designer is. Remember, last year she chose 26-year-old Jason Wu, a Taiwanese-born young designer who had a small little studio in New York before. In fact, he said that his family would take him to bridal shops in Taiwan so he could sketch out the designs of the dresses to kind of get his start, and he is now doing incredibly well. His fashion show was the ticket everybody wanted at the New York Fashion Show, and that's all because of the First Lady.
I don't know what you think of this theory, Rena, but one of the fashion experts we had on today posited that it is possible that what on today do is to wear something she's already worn.
Wow. You know, and the whole thing about her is that she does mix and match and kind of redo things over again. But I have to tell you, I would be kind of surprised if that were to happen for an inaugural ball, because this is a pretty big deal, and this is a very historical dress that everybody will be watching. I have to tell you another story that is making a lot of buzz in Washington and might be a very big story tomorrow is something that was caught at the congressional lunch. The First Lady, it appears, was rolling her eyes. I have not seen the video exactly, based on something that the House Speaker John Boehner said. We're looking into this right now, but let me tell you, Washington is buzzing about what may House Speaker to the First Lady.
Yes, we've got the video up. It's a GIF that we're running from the internet, and the First Lady is sitting between Speaker Boehner and President Obama, and she does appear mid-bite to be rolling her eyes at something the speaker said, but obviously there's no audio here. We have no idea. It could be completely inadvertent, could be completely unrelated, but yes, it is going massively viral. The other thing that Twitter is a Twitter with right now is a shot from inside the reviewing stand of the president chewing gum quite visibly, and there's a lot of theorizing that what he's actually chewing is Nicorette.
I would pretty much be certain, Dan, that it is Nicorette, because it's well known that he does chew Nicorette throughout. In fact, there was a moment, a couple of, during the last crisis in 2011 over the debt ceiling, there was, they called them Merlot and Nicorette nights, when House Speaker John Boehner would come out and meet the president. House Speaker would have Merlot and the president would chew on Nicorette.
Quite a pair. That sounds like a great party. Nicorette, Merlot, and barely concealed animosity. A recipe for a terrific evening.
That's actually, isn't that one of the inaugural balls tonight? One of the unofficial ones? The Merlot, Nicorette, and Animosity Ball?
That's right. It's the hardest ticket to get in Washington, I hear.
It is.
Hawaiian shirts are accepted. And what are we looking at here, Rena? What is this?
This is another marching parade, and trailing behind it is actually fascinating. I don't know if you can see. Behind it is actually fascinating. I don't know if you can see. Martin Luther King. This is, of course, Martin Luther King Day, a very special holiday for all Americans. And you can see a picture here of Martin Luther King, and the quote says, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope." We have also learned today that the Bible that the president was sworn in on belonged to Martin Luther King, and his family actually asked him and Justice Rehnquist, who swore him in, to autograph the inside of the Bible, and they happily obliged to do that as well today.
And it's amazing to think about this. The Martin Luther King family, they've lived through so much history, made so much history, and yet this decision by President Barack Obama today to be sworn in on what's known as Martin Luther King's traveling Bible, the Bible he traveled with, clearly so important to the family that they then asked that the president sign it. He is now posing for pictures inside the reviewing stand. I'm going to take a wild guess with zero factual support that is a member of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Dan. We knew that they would be part of the box here, and it does appear to me, from my vantage point at least, that could very well be the case.
Men who played an enormous role in our country's history, and for too long an unheralded role. And again, struck by how much the president, throughout this, appears to be enjoying it. Doesn't appear to be treating it all like, something, a bit of theater in which he must engage.
No, he's embraced us with relish the whole time. It's really looked like he's thrilled to be out there.
I just keep going back to that moment as he walked up after his inaugural address and lingered at the top of the stairs for a while.
Yes.
Sorry, Rita, were you trying to say something? Okay.
I just like to
Walter,
make one little point.
Go for it.
In 1983, when Congress made Martin Luther King's birthday a national holiday, or around his birthday, the third Monday in January, I suspect, I have not gone back and checked, that very few people realize how entwined with all future presidential inaugurations Martin Luther King would be, just by the accident of the calendar.
That's probably true. We're going to try to get Holly Bailey from Yahoo News. Those are some of the 147 horses that are participating in the parade. Notwithstanding the vaunted prowess of the Yahoo News gathering organization, as far as I know, neither Olivier nor Chris has been able to get to the bottom of who's going to clean up after those horses. We continue to wait in an answer. I know calls are out.
It does bring to mind a famous remark from Donald Reagan, Reagan's second chief of staff, who went down in flames, who compared himself to the guy who comes after the parade and cleans it up, which got some Reagan loyalists saying, so you're comparing yourself to the guy who cleans up after the parade. What does that imply about what you're saying about the president? It was the beginning of a very unhappy tenure of the chief of staff.
In which, as I recall, Nancy Reagan ushered
Personally
him out
told
of the
him
White
to
House.
take a hike. Yes, indeed. So there's a parade analogy. See, there's a
Yeah.
No, I like
bring
it.
back.
I like it.
There are
I see.
also larger
The dots are
political
connected.
analogies here
Yes.
that we.
Yeah, but
And let's not forget, this is a man who's going on his 4th or 5th chief of staff himself. President Obama, that is.
I just love the fact that among some of the obsessive people, the issue of what kind of gum the president is chewing has apparently reached, significant. Is this like Spearmint Gate?
No, well, Nicorette at least is a little bit more loaded, given that it's a smoking cessation product. But nonetheless, this is the age of social media, and on Twitter, we like to pick up on the amusing little detail and amplify it. Oh, and here is the unicycle troupe without Olivier, who otherwise would have been participating. Important to wear a helmet if you're going to ride a unicycle.
So,
And riding a unicycle while juggling, that's how you get extra credit.
it appears that the cleaning of the parade route will be left to the private sector. The C3, which is the Austin-based company that is producing the inauguration.
Are you making this up?
No, I'm not.
Who-
An inauguration official has had pity on me and tells me that, in fact, the Austin-based company C3, which is producing the parade, has, I'm told, in the vaguest of possible terms, has contracted with another company to ensure the cleanup of the parade route.
My
Is
affection
this
for
the
you
ultimate outsourcing?
Yes, it is.
No, it's subcontracting. Come on, it's not outsourcing.
The
Unless the company's from China.
I mean, the choices were Blackwater or
Yeah.
this company out of Austin. And let me just say to you, my affection for you, which was already considerable, is what's the word I'm
Stagnated?
looking for?
Stagnated?
Stratospheric, exponential. Good work, yeoman's work.
Could it
Now I
be,
just need to find out what that second company is. That's not being revealed to me at the moment.
are there,
the president adding some coffee
Olivier,
to
I think
his-
you need to find your guy and ask, are drones involved?
There's actually been a fair amount of chatter on Twitter about whether, and if so, how many drones are being used as part of the security precautions here.
We do know satellites have been used.
In theory, they're not allowed to be, but
Don't we know that it was at least one use of a drone domestically? Not for a strike, obviously, but for surveillance.
well, I know there have been requests for drones along the U.S.-Mexico border. I know there have been requests for the permission to use drones on the northern border, but I'm not actually sure about the actual use of them. And if any of my drone expert friends are still watching this live stream, they're welcome to tweet me and let me know what the facts are of that.
I await the tsunami of tweets. Night has fallen in Washington, D.C., and there's the President of the United States chewing gum, drinking coffee, chatting it up with, you can see members of the Biden family in the background.
So here's a question. If night has fallen in Washington and you're sitting there watching the parade and it's dark, how much of the parade are you actually going to get to see?
Well, it seems pretty well lighted.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah,
Yeah, security
At least here.
floodlights, if nothing else.
Maybe where the president is, but how about a few blocks down?
Well, they're definitely street lights, but that's a good question. At this point, it's a massive production with an intended audience of one.
I'm just looking down at the trending topics on Twitter, and it's what is unlike the other. Inaug 2013, MLK, Martin Luther King, Sasha Obama, and Nicorette. I think we all could guess 3 out of the 4.
Yes, I mean, none of those surprised me. I suppose I have to say.
No, Nicorette doesn't, but